Buddhism has grown into one of the major religions in the world, with a rich diversity of schools and branches. But if we trace back to its origins, we find Gautama Buddha, a prince who renounced his royal life in search of enlightenment and became the Buddha. His teachings are encapsulated in a collection known as the Dhammapada, which offers profound wisdom for those seeking peace of mind. Having discussed Stoicism and Daoism, it's only fitting to explore Buddhist wisdom aimed at inner tranquility. One of Buddhism's foundational teachings is that attachment leads to suffering. We suffer because we cling to external things beyond our control. In doing so, we resist the fundamental truth of existence, that change is the only constant. Youth fades, beauty diminishes, loved ones leave us, and even success, like that on YouTube, will eventually end. The key is to appreciate what is happening in the moment, but to also recognize its impermanence and be willing to let go when the time comes. Buddha taught, "The wise ones give up attachment to all things. The virtuous do not crave pleasure. The intelligent are neither elated nor depressed by happiness or sorrow." Another core teaching is to desire the right things. While craving and desire can poison the mind and cause distress, this doesn't mean that all desire must be eradicated. Even Buddhist monks have a form of desire, a desire for enlightenment. Perhaps you're interested in Buddhism because you wish to escape suffering. So, there's nothing inherently wrong with desire itself. What's important is to desire the right things and guard against the wrong ones that lead us astray. In Buddhism, this means training the mind. As the Buddha said, just as rain seeps through a poorly thatched roof, so craving seeps into an untrained mind. But rain cannot penetrate a well-thatched roof, just as craving cannot infiltrate a trained mind. Pursuing sensory pleasures leads to suffering. Sensual pleasures themselves aren't wrong, but immersion in them can become a source of sin. Greed, overindulgence, and addiction all stem from the desire to satisfy these pleasures. When the pursuit of pleasure dominates our lives, we're easily tempted by Mara, the demon that drags us into sin and keeps us in a cycle of suffering. Because of the fear, dissatisfaction, and insatiable greed born from chasing pleasure, humans often fall into exploitation, violence, and destruction, not only of others, but of ourselves. The Buddha warned, "As the storm topples a weak tree, so does Mara overpower those who live for sensual pleasures, who are uncontrolled in their senses, immoderate in eating, lazy, and of weak resolve." From suffering, beauty blooms. Suffering is an inescapable part of life. While Buddhism seeks the end of suffering, rejecting all the darker aspects of life is like throwing out the baby with the bathwater. It was through deep suffering that the Buddha found the path to enlightenment, and our own suffering can serve as fertilizer for a better life. In my experience, the insights born from pain provide us the opportunity to grow in compassion and creativity. For example, I wouldn't be able to make these videos without having gone through profound suffering in my past. As the Buddha said, "In the rubbish heap of the roadside, a lotus blooms, fragrant and beautiful." Good companions are crucial. Just like the Stoics, the Buddha advised that we associate with wise and positive individuals, ideally those on the path to enlightenment. For serious Buddhists, this means finding a Buddhist community or even becoming a monk. However, this isn't for everyone. The Buddha went so far as to say it's better to live alone than to be with fools or those with bad influence. I personally find this advice sound. The Buddha said, "It is better to live alone than with the foolish. Walk alone, do no evil, be carefree like an elephant in the forest." A trained mind leads to happiness. The foundation of Buddhism is the practice of meditation. The goal of meditation is to achieve freedom from the mind, which is often unruly and out of control. We are not our thoughts, yet we tend to identify with them, no matter how toxic they may be. When we can free ourselves from overthinking and are no longer bound by any mental activity, we become present in the moment, unburdened by desires or the weight of the past and future. This is where true happiness lies. Buddha said, "The one who delights in overcoming wicked thoughts, meditates on impurity, and remains ever vigilant, this person will put an end to greed and break free from the chains of Mara." In Buddhism, short-term evil leads to long-term consequences. Many actions don't result in immediate suffering. For example, indulging in momentary pleasures might give us fleeting satisfaction without apparent repercussions. Behaviors like lying, cheating, manipulation, or even theft can offer short-term gains or help us avoid immediate pain. However, in the long run, the consequences of such actions catch up with us. We can become addicted, and our lives may be dominated by uncontrollable desires. Or, through deceit and dishonesty, we lose the trust not only of those around us but also in ourselves. Buddhism deeply believes in the law of karma, a spiritual principle that emphasizes the interaction between cause and effect, as well as the concept of rebirth. If we don't face the consequences of our harmful actions in this life, we may suffer them in future lives, potentially resulting in an unfortunate rebirth. To illustrate this, Buddha stated, "The evildoer may live happily for a while when the evil has not yet ripened. But when the fruit of his evil deed ripens, the evildoer will meet suffering as a result of his past actions." This encapsulates the Buddhist philosophy that we reap what we sow. To summarize the wisdom of Buddhism that leads to inner peace, as discussed in this video, attachment leads to suffering. Desiring the right things, the pursuit of sensual pleasures brings suffering. Beauty blooms from suffering. Good companions are essential. A trained mind brings happiness. And short-term evil results in long-term consequences. It's important to note that the quotes shared in this video are directly from the Dhammapada, complemented by my own interpretations and insights gathered from studying Buddhism. Beyond the Dhammapada, there are many other Buddhist scriptures for you to explore if you're interested. That's all for now. If you know more Buddhist wisdom you'd like to share, please leave it in the comments section. Thank you for watching this video. If you found the content useful, don't forget to like, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss future videos. See you in the next one.